Hi, thanks for joining me. You're at home with Melissa, and I'd like to take this opportunity to give you some statistical updates that I've been able to gather about the new coronavirus coming out of Wuhan, China. It's now officially being called the 2019 NCOV. Of course, 2019 refers to the year in which it came out, and NCOV represents novel or new coronavirus. And I've got a lot of the information directly from the websites for the Centers for Disease Control and Johns Hopkins University, as well as the European Center for Disease Prevention and Control. And I've taken the information directly from them, so I will be reading a lot of this, so bear with me, okay? First of all, Johns Hopkins University updated on this January 28th, 2020, says that we have 107 reported killed by the disease and 4,474 people infected, according to, they say, China's People's Daily state-run newspaper on, they say, today. Okay. And they say that as of the 27th, Thailand and Hong Kong had 8 cases confirmed each. The U.S., Taiwan, and Australia and Macau had 5 each. Singapore, Japan, South Korea, and Malaysia had 4 each. France, 3. Canada and Vietnam, 2. Nepal, 1. And it states that all the deaths recorded did take place in China. Now, the CDC says that the locations with confirmed cases as of the 27th were China, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Australia, Cambodia, Canada, France, Japan, Nepal, Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, the Republic of Korea, the United States, and Vietnam. The ECDC says as of the 27th of January at 11:30 CET, they report 81 deaths, China having 2,775 reported confirmed cases, Taiwan 5, Thailand 8, Australia 5, Malaysia 4, Singapore 4, France 3, Japan 3, South Korea 4, the US 5, Vietnam 2, Canada 1, and Nepal 1. And let's see here. Since, and I think this was reported by the ECDC at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Nope, wouldn't be the ECDC. According to the UN, and I took this from their website, pardon me for the moment there, on the 27th of January at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, they stated that since Monday, UN Health Agency teams have been in China and other countries as well to help them with their response to this virus. And so that's good. And ABC News says that Hong Kong has declared a state of emergency with schools being closed until mid-February. So that's interesting as well. Now, according to NTL News out of Canada, more than 4,100 global national news in Canada, pardon, my own handwriting's terrible. According to Global National News in Canada on the 27th, more than 4,100 cases have been confirmed worldwide. Now, I think basically that when you look at the differences in the numbers that are being reported by different organizations, that can be attributed simply to when they've received their updates and how long it takes them to publish them. Because, again, the situation is dynamic, it's evolving rapidly, things are changing quickly. And so it makes sense that you'd have discrepancies in the numbers you're getting. Whether that accounts for it all in your opinion, of course you can decide. My own thoughts on the matter are that, well, that China, due to their track record, I'm not sure that they aren't reporting lower numbers than are accurate. Now, other countries, though, I would trust a lot more, and so I would be likely to think that they're accurate as to the information that they're receiving. And according to the CDC, and of course reported by others as well, the symptoms of the new virus tend to be that are similar really to a bad cold or your regular flu. These include cough, fever, and shortness of breath. And the problem with that is that in a lot of places right now it's wintertime and you have a lot of other viruses going around and they have the same symptoms. So you might be inclined to blame your symptoms on the regular flu if it's the new coronavirus, or vice versa. And so it's kind of really hard to know for sure which one you have. Now, with the new coronavirus, you're going to show symptoms within, they say, 2 to 14 days of coming in contact with being infected by the disease. Most people right around 10 days. And officials suggest that the best ways to avoid contracting the disease or spreading it is by washing your hands frequently. If you're someplace you can't wash your hands, to use a hand sanitizer. And there are differences of opinion among officials and medical experts. Boy, my hair looks great. And medical experts as to the effectiveness of wearing the respiratory masks. Some suggest that it's only if you're in a hospital or you know that you've been infected that you should wear them to prevent infecting other people, whereas some say that it does provide a modicum of protection for you from contracting it. And let's see what else I have here. So that's basically, I think, all that I have. It feels like I'm forgetting something, and I don't see anything in my notes. So if I am forgetting something, it was something I meant to say but didn't write down. And as far as how concerned we should be at this time about the disease, I'm sure we each have our different opinions on that. What you hear from the authorities is basically that it's not cause for concern yet, and that makes sense. In most now in China, obviously, that's an emergency situation. But as for the rest of the world, none of these countries have very many cases yet. And I'm using the word yet, which is also a word used by the authorities quite a bit. It seems that they're saying right now we have cause to be on alert, but not yet be alarmed. And that it is possible that we'll get to that point where there is cause for alarm. It's also possible that the disease will burn itself out before it becomes a worldwide problem. And we can certainly hope for that. You know, prepare for the worst, hope for the best kind of thing. I also think that it's important to keep in mind that with this new coronavirus, while it's being reported that it can be transmitted before the individual who has it has expressed any symptoms, it's more likely, much more likely, to be contagious after the person does have symptoms. And what they're saying is that basically the virus has passed through large droplets that come from, say, a cough or a sneeze, and that those who have to be most concerned about contracting the disease from an individual who has it are those who are within, say, 2 to 3 meters or yards from the individual. And they are being really good about testing anyone who's showing symptoms. That's the good thing. The negative thing is, while the risk is lower, it can, according to reports, be transmitted before the infected person has symptoms. So for each positive, there's a negative. For each negative, there's a positive. And basically, what is pretty much universal among the authorities right at this point is to not panic, but to take precautions. In particular, to make sure that you wash your hands frequently, that you keep your home clean in case some of the virus would get onto a surface or what have you in the home, particularly though with the hand washing and the using of the hand sanitizers when you can't wash your hands. Now, you might have your own thoughts and opinions on this that vary from those I've said or that confirm what I've said. You might also have information that I've not yet seen or information that I'll never see. Things, they are changing quickly. And I would find it interesting to see what you have to say, and I think a lot of our other viewers would as well. And so please feel free to share any thoughts, opinions, new information that you have in the comments below so that we can all join in. And I just ask that you remember that, none of us really knows for sure what's going on. We have ideas and we have things that make a lot more sense than other things that seem to be reinforced by reputable sources, and things that we worry about that we haven't seen. So there's really no reason for any of us to get grumpy with the rest. And so just be sure that as we're discussing it, that we remain polite and just talk about it and not argue about it. I'd really appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else would too. So, please, like I said, feel free to leave your comments in the sections below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope you all have a good day. Be careful, but not too scared. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.